Hey guys, hope y'all are doing well. So today we are going to do another round of products that I hit pan on. So I have another 10 items here, and then I have another one and I just cannot find it. So if I can, I'll add it in here. But these are products that I have either been focusing on or just organically hit pan on. So we will go ahead and get started. The very first one is a blush. Yes. So this is in my project, my A to Z project pan. And this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Feisty. And I just hit pan on that one. So I use an angled brush. So I hit pan more on this side, and then you'll see this one still has a little bit of the, print still in there. But I finally hit pan on another blush. So I was able to finish one blush last year. So I love this blush. It is just a very neutral everyday blush. It looks a lot like what I have on right now, but I do have let's see, I have the Milani like Coralista blush on. Anyways, I really like this blush. I'm gonna still try to work on it a little bit. I don't know if I want to pan the whole thing this year or not, because I am enjoying using some more of my blushes and not having to stick to one. So I want to do another little update on Charlie. This is what he looks like now. He's now 4.5 months. I think I said he was like 4 months last time, but he's 4.5 months now, and so he's getting so big. He's a troublemaker, that's what he is. So this one is no surprise. It is the Prosecco Pop. It is right here. So last time I hit pan on this one, and this is that Becca Jaclyn Hill palette from a while ago. But I finally hit pan on this one, and this one is just a really good kind of like gold, but I can still wear it being this pale, and it still, looks good. So I really like this one, but Champagne Pop, you can't beat Champagne Pop. And then the other one is another Becca highlighter. This was actually my very first highlighter I ever purchased from Sephora, or in general. And this is the Becca highlight in Moonstone. And I have had to repress this once because it did, I think I either traveled with it or I dropped it or something and it broke. So I did have to repress it, but I'm really close to finishing this off. I don't know if I'm going to want to try to finish this off. This is the perfect nose highlight because it's pale enough for my skin. But if you want a blinding like cheek highlight, I don't have it on today, but if you want a blinding cheek highlight, then this is a good one. So I could easily finish this off this year, but I don't know. I'm just having so much fun playing with all my stuff. And then the next one is a pressed powder. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrushed Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. And I have this in the shade 1. And I've made a pretty good dip in there. Now don't use this to set my whole face because it's expensive. So what I'll end up doing is I will just use it right here where I have a little bit larger pores. And then that way it really kind of blurs out that area. And then I can use a normal powder for the rest of my face. So I highly recommend this. It's really good. It is more expensive, but I've had this for a while. If you don't use this as an all over powder and just where you need those areas to be blurred, then I think it is worth it. Okay, next we have 2 eyeshadows. These are the Mary Kay Cream eye colors, and this is Glacier Gray and Beach Blonde. Yeah, and I did hit pan. It's a clear pan, so that little clear spot in the middle is the pan, and I used a really good amount of this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it because it's pretty dried up. I could try to revive it, but and then this one's the Beach Blonde. So I used actually I think I used a little bit more of this one. It's probably about 3/4 or 2/3 of the way done. But it's really dry. And I know I have another one. I have 2 more that are not dried up. I think one is like apricot, and then the iced cocoa one, which is my favorite, just all over kind of lid shade. And then next I have a bunch of under eye powders and bronzers. So let me get all of these palettes out. So I have 4 palettes, okay? So I kept this, even though I told you I was gonna declutter this one, but I wanted to save it for this video because I did actually hit pan on another shade. This is my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I used up all of these, and then I ended up putting this and using it as my body bronzer. So when I finish that, I don't know if I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it now, or if I'm gonna try to use the rest of that up, but this is like really big. I think this is going to last me the rest of the year. I ended up mixing this one, and this is the Tarte Clay Play Face Shaping Palette. So this bronzer right here, so you can see there's like just a tiny bit left on the edges, but this one started crumbling when I dropped it. So I ended up putting most of this in here just to kind of get some use out of these bronzers, because these bronzers are this one was super pigmented and this one was really dark. So I couldn't use them on my face. So what I like to do is, if my foundation doesn't match my chest, because my chest is very pale, for some reason, it just doesn't, like, I guess, get a lot of sun. So every day I usually bronze up just like this much of my chest, because that's where my scrubs are. So I'll just blend up just a little bit so that my foundation matches. So yeah, so both of these bronzers went into that face palette, and I have been using this face palette for a couple months now. I repressed it with a little bit of a really dark loose powder. Oh, Charlie. So I mixed it with a really, like, it's too dark for me, face powder, and then that way it lightened it up and didn't make it as pigmented. So I did hit pan on one more bronzer, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So if I can find it, I'll insert a picture. If not, then you'll just have to take my word for it. I'll probably just end up putting it in the next video, but it's the Mary Kay, like, shimmering bronzer. But anyways, we'll just pass right on over that one. Okay, so for under eye powders, I have the IBY Beauty Highlight and Contour Palette, and I think we got this in like a BoxyCharm or Nipsey or something like years ago. And once I finished the Kat Von D and most of this Morphe palette, I started to work on this one, and I just hit pan on it today, so it's gonna be hard to see, but there is pan right there. So that was my number 10 product, because I wanted to make sure I had at least 10 products for you guys for this video. So I end up using this one as an under eye powder, and then I'm going to use this one next. And then what I end up doing is just using this one, which is a little too dark for me, to set my eyeshadow or my concealer or my, you know, like eyeshadow primer, stuff like that, because it doesn't really matter because it's your eyelids, so you can use the darker shade on there. So that's one little tip I have for going through those powders when you can't really use all of them. So the last one was one I hit pan, and I wish I would have taken a picture of it before I mixed it, but the same with the Tarte one. But it is my Morphe contouring palette, and I actually use this shade right here. It is a very shimmery, it's supposed to be a highlighter, but it was too dark for me. So I ended up mixing just a little bit in here, and then a little bit into my body bronzer, just to make it a little bit shimmery. But yeah, this was too dark for me to use as a normal highlight, so I ended up just mixing it. But this shade right here is going to be the one I'm going to work on during the summer, because this one, it looks really pale, but it oxidizes, because what I did was I mixed all 3 of these powders. So once I got most of the powder and you just had those like weird edges that you can't really get anything, I went ahead and mixed it in here with a little bit of that highlighter just to kind of brighten things up. But I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of the color that it was. I wouldn't go out to purchase any of these face palettes. They were just fine. I'm not into the whole like highlighting, contouring palettes anymore. I would just rather use, I have individual bronzers and under eye powders and stuff like that. So I'm not going to purchase any of those anymore. But this one is a good one if you need just any type of like transition color or just regular like under eye highlighting, like to highlight your brow bone or anything like that. This is a good like one I can go to if I don't have a transition color. So anyways, that's it. It's gonna be a short and sweet video. I hope you guys oh my Charlie, I was almost done. Okay, so sorry if the camera moved a little bit. Charlie just tried to jump in my lap and knocked everything off, like off the counter, like camera, ring light, boxes, paper, everything. So, and all I had to do was the outro. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know what products you've hit pan on recently, and I will go ahead and start my list again, and then that way I can come back with another video. Hopefully, probably be the fall time before I get enough products that I've hit pan on. But anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day and staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.